Welcome back to Sports Zone. This is Joy Prime. We're also streaming on YouTube and on X Spaces. My guests are here, Sichofe Philip Achrim and Daniel Cranton. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Did you have a good weekend?
Oh, the best weekend ever.
What do you mean, best?
The best weekend ever.
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever?
Best weekend ever. It's an expression.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better than your wedding weekend.
I say it's an expression.
Better than your wedding
Best
weekend.
ever. No, obviously, that day is on top. I don't think any day can beat it. But this was a very good weekend. A very, very good weekend. Yesterday, yeah. My father is now a reverend.
Charlie. Your father, Mr. Cranton, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
No, I mean the original Mr. Cranton. Why are you taking the
Take it through.
for him?
It's not the same
Your
blood.
father is now a pastor. So I said...
A reverend.
A reverend. So I said, Reverend Cranton, congratulations.
Reverend Cranton.
And you are stretching your hand.
I'm taking congratulations on behalf of my father.
Your father watches the show.
Like
I'm sending it to him directly.
But this guy...
Mr. Cranton, congratulations.
Keep your handshake.
You're now a reverend. The extended handshake is here. I will not give to this boy.
It means say right now that I can't you are a reverend son. So you have to live like that.
Well, I already live like a...
Tell him.
I'm saying no, but even now, even more.
Even more. Because they say, hey, isn't your father a reverend?
Even more. Yeah. Because when the priest
What does that make?
you remember what the Bible said when the priest's son were doing some things around the temple?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that those words, they were stubborn.
So they don't put your father in trouble.
No.
Okay.
So now that Mr. Cranton is a reverend, what does that make Mrs. Cranton?
Of mommy. Soft mommy, quick.
Soft mommy. And you're soft mommy.
Asafo mommy.
Asafo. Thank you. You have to be specific. There's a difference.
What's the difference?
Okay.
What's the difference?
Asafo mommy, female, but Asafo mommy is different from Asafo mommy.
What's Asafo mommy?
Reverend.
Asafo the congregation.
Yes, thank you. Tell him.
Congregation's mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super.
Yes, because now your father is head of congregation. So now the woman is the mother of the congregation. Because now your father is the father of the congregation. Are you understanding the tree?
So right now I get plenty brothers and sisters. You know they share like that.
But yeah, congratulations. I mean, nothing better than God, so yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Sidney Cranton, congratulations. Now, Reverend Sidney Cranton.
Thank you.
Wonderful. The name sounds very nice on him.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go into... You see, as a House of Folk fan or Kotoko?
No, Asante Kotoko.
Kotoko fan. Okay, see, you're a rebel. Your father supports Kotoko. You decide to go to House of Folk. House of Folk have a brand new head coach. His name is Diddi Dramani. The Black Meteors head coach left the job, was Black Stars assistant coach. The last time he coached a club side was back in 2013 all the way to 2015, and he won back-to-back league titles with Kumasi Asante Kotoko before he left the job. For exactly 10 years, he's not done club football management in Ghana. He did do some at Northland when he was assistant coach there for a while before he returned to Right to Dream, where he served as head of football before he transitioned into assistant coach of the Black Stars and later head coach of the Meteors. Now, he is the head coach of House of Folk. 2-year contract. But there is a lot of controversy about who should have had the job, who House of Folk preferred. I don't know if that's the word, or who they had meetings with. Maswa Krodio apparently was close to getting the job, but it's gone to Diddi. What kind of coach are they getting?
They're getting Diddi. An experienced man who has gone through phases of technical football management, right? So he's been a manager, he's been a coach, he's been a manager, he's been a technical lead, and he sat above coaches looking over football operations. So they're getting a man who has, in my opinion, when it comes to running a football club, the technical side of it, he's worked through that chain before. By the last 12, 10 years, he's predominantly been at the top of it.
Yeah.
Where when he's had to deal with clubs. It was a more recent time with the national team that he's done, hands-on coaching. But we all know that can be very different from coaching every weekend and going into the training grounds and everything. I think he's got a good reputation and he has a lot of credits in the bank for him, in Ghana. And that is why a top club like Hearts of Oak would go for him. I still think it's a gamble. I really do. Because the local game can be very different. And the local game normally doesn't tell you whether you're a bad coach or a good coach. It could be a very good coach and still not thrive in the kind of league we play. And so we'll see how he goes about it. I was thinking that he could have been one of those football brains that would be at the very top for Hearts of Oak to help them restructuring the sporting.
So more like a technical director,
more like a technical director thing, a sporting director, technical director, however the club wants to label it. I find him as that kind of person now in this time of his career. And I was thinking a person like Maxwell Kunedu would have been the more hands-on, coach.
Yeah.
And that is what I think our clubs need to start shifting to. So imagine if Diddi Dramani is the technical director sporting director of Hearts of Oak, and the Maxwell Kunedu is the coach. If the two of them can have an understanding, they could be cooking something special. But that is Hearts of Oak saying that now they want him to come into the club and do the hands-on training, hands-on coaching, and trying to move the club into winning titles. We'll see how it goes. He's a very good personality. His football brain is massive. But can he translate that into the players and onto the pitch when they step out there? It's Hearts of Oak. Pressure is always on, so we'll be looking forward to see what happens.
What is the dynamic going to look like now? Because Hearts of Oak were very suspiciously tight-lipped on Ouattara's situation in that statement. So now the media is left to glean around and figure out whether they're letting him go or he's staying. What we're picking up is that Ouattara might be staying as technical director.
Yeah, obviously, he can't stay as head coach because they've announced the new head coach. But, look, I don't... At this point in time, we all know Hearts of Oak have done a review of the season before they realized that Ouattara is certainly not the man to take them into next season. Doing the day-in, day-out work of coaching, so obviously they've let him go. But I tend to agree with Sicho. He's not done it in a while. 10 years since he was at the helm of club coaching day in, day out. And it's very different from national team football. I think he reminds me of Ralph Ragnick. He's transformed from a hands-on manager exactly into a more supervisory role. And Hearts of Oak bringing him back. Honestly, I tend to side with Sicho. I think it's a huge gamble. Where the club is, the last 3 seasons have not been the best. I think this past season was the best out of the last 4 years. It's completely not been the best. Since they won the league title, it's been a couple of relegation battles, and then what happened last season, yet another trophyless season. So it's been quite disappointing, and I think Hearts of Oak needs that next step. And the way the Ghana Premier League works, you don't really need 2 or 3 seasons to prepare for a championship campaign. If you do your things right in the off-season, if you get the right players and the right technical team in, you can go out and win the league. And we've seen it in the past 3 seasons with 3 different winners, 3 very new winners of the competition. So for me, I would have thought that when I heard the Kunedu conversations, it made perfect sense because this is somebody who just last season he was coaching a Premier League team. Obviously, they had their own issues, but he's a proven winner. He's done it at the top, and he has a bit more experience in recent years. And that would have made sense if he...
from South Africa.
Exactly. If he came into the team and you would have had more confidence. Diddi, not to take anything away from him, but again, it's been a while. And to be frank, the last time we saw him in action on the touchline, it didn't go too well. The Ghana-Nigeria 2-leg, it didn't go too well at all.
With the local
Black Stars. It was a very Diddi-like
Black
team.
Galaxies, thank you.
And to be frank, the weeks before that, in fact, it was during this campaign where there were a lot of top talents available for him to pick. He got his team together. They just didn't play the football. Serious selection issues. And his utterances even after were very iffy. But again, you can only wish him all the best and hope that the Diddi of 2013, 2014 will be the one we see next season, but I hope doesn't play football.
You know what is interesting is that many people don't know this, but or perhaps it's not spoken about a lot, is that the team that Diddi came to inherit in 2013 was built by Maxwell. The 2012 team
Yeah.
that he used to win the league. Before that, they hadn't won the league because in 2010 and 2011, it was a Gianna and Brecum Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then 2009 was a Gianna as well, right?
Yeah,
so it was. So in that period, none of the traditional teams was winning the league until Maxwell came and broke that particular
2012.
Exactly in 2012, where he had Baba Rahman, Nkum. Like he had a delicious team that particular year, and went on to win the league. So Didi took over with Michael Osei, may he so rest in peace, as his assistant coach. And I remember that year vividly because the FA Cup final was happening around the end of the season when Didi was first announced as head coach of a team. But he wasn't available because he was in charge of the Ghana and the 17 women's team. And they were in a World Cup competition in Azerbaijan, where they ended up in third place.
That was Portia Boachi's group.
Exactly. So Michael Osei had to play the final against Inter Allies, and he ended up winning that particular final. So, it's been quite a journey for Masu Diddi Dramani, but that's a lifetime ago, right? I mean,
That's this appointment is almost like the Milo kind of thing that applies. He had been successful when he was here. Then he went away for a very long time, and we brought him back on the back of what he had done when he was here. And Hasselhoff, of course, a winning club. They're looking for a manager who's got a track record, but that was a decade ago. But of course, it's still like I say, he's got a great football brain. As to whether he can translate that onto the pitch and get the players to buy into his thinking, we'll see.
His last season there, 2014-15, that was Eric Donko's season. Every corner kick was an assist.
Crossing.
Technical. That was that year.
Once he steps on the ball, with
Seydou Bansi and Aziz Zakari. Oh, what a squad. What a squad. Anyway, so all the best to him. So the Wyken dynamic, like Daniel said, might be a little bit interesting, especially with Ouattara still staying. We'll see what Hasselhoff do with that. How do they manage with the transfer ban? Just pay the money. It's a really simple matter.
Yeah.
$70,000.
No, it's someday inside, but
they have to. I mean, they can negotiate and stagger. They might not have.
Yeah, we had the word negotiations. So
they
I'm
just
sure
have to get to the table and have a conversation, right? And then commit to the agreement that comes forth. I think the lawyers will do that. The FA will step in, and Hartlepool would.
The craziest thing about that transfer is that when Hartlepool agreed, they actually bought the player for a reported $120,000 US. They were hoping they could sell him for more.
They don't use their profit to pay.
And then they just sent him on loan to America, FC Cincinnati. And they only got $50,000 in loan fee, and then the player came back, didn't sign the contract. So they never really got the money.
These are dreams,
I think so. I mean, it's anyway. All right, so things happen. Football is.
It's bad. It's business. It can go wrong, but
it's such an unpredictable game, because it's unbelievable. Anyway, so listen. Like I said, tonight, right, guys, we've got a lot of transfers to go through tonight on the show. So that's what it's going to be. What I'm going to do now is take a quick break. And when we come back, Karim would come here. He's going to talk us through some Ghanaian players and transfers. And then we will then get into every single one of those transfers in detail and why your club should sign a certain player and why they are pursuing a certain player. Welcome back. This is Sports Zone on Joy Prime, proudly sponsored by Guinness, of course, and also by Piva Beverages, producers of Piva Water. The show is live and interactive on social media. Send me a message, all right? Where should Kudus go? Where should Semenyo go? Which players should your club sign? And what have you? I have a question for the Chelsea fans. Nicholas Jackson, Nicholas Jackson, what does he want from us? We should do what for him? Nicholas Jackson. What should we do with him? Send me a message. I'm interested because I'm very confused. Today it is this, tomorrow it is that. The tackle he went to do against Flamengo, who sent him? Who sent him?
The boy said he's sorry. Why are you doing this?
He said he's sorry.
Say he's sorry.
I'm also sorry for my comment. So we all move. You know, so
Don't do that.
Charlie. Anyway, Karim is here. Karim, what's going on? What have you got for us today?
A lot. I have a lot. And the long and short of it is that, do you know how many Ghanaian players have gained promotion?
I've gained relegation, say it.
Forget this man and say.
You, I don't know why he's dragging me this evening. Yeah. But do you know how many Ghanaians have gained promotion and been relegated from the top 5 leagues?
No.
So that's
I know in terms of promotion there are about 5.
in terms of promotion.
Yes.
Mention them.
I know Zibo from Spain because his club, Oviedo, right?
Yes.
Just got promoted.
Very sweet.
I know that in England there was Sales. Yes.
Yes, but it's complicated.
What do you mean? Sales is complicated.
Yes.
Why is he here?
Because he wouldn't be with the promoted club.
No wahala. But he was with them when they got promoted, correct?
Yes.
You said top 5 leagues, right? If I go to Germany, you know Kornstoffer is there.
Yes.
Right, with Hamburg.
Ragnaci.
Yeah.
Ragnaci is there.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's 4 already. Let me see, which country haven't I been to? France, right?
I've not been to Italy yet.
France, Italy.
Yes.
Ooh, Italy, JC Empoli, he got relegated, right?
Yes.
Cremonese, but he wasn't there, so that's not...
So that's part of the complication.
That's part of because he's going back.
Take it away, take it away.
So that is where we start from Serie A. The player that has gained promotion is Felix Afenajan, but he hasn't played a part in them getting promoted. But that is his parent club. He played for Juventus next gen. That is like under 23.
Yes.
They play in Serie C. And
Serie C?
Yes.
Yeah.
And his team, his mother club, that is Cremonese, they played in Serie B and gained promotion to Serie A. So I don't know whether, and he has a contract with them. The loan expired at the end of the season, but there's an option to buy for a permanent deal, but I don't know if it will be exercised or not. And getting promotion, everyone likes promotion. So he should go back and play in Serie A. By his time at Juventus next gen, he played 26 games, scored 6 goals, and provided 3 assists. Then Emmanuel Jesse, Mr. Presence, like he's always present for his team throughout the 38 games in Serie A and Serie A. He has played 37 of them, missed just 1, scored 2 goals, and provided 1 assist for them. But Empoli couldn't maintain their place in the Serie A. Then in the Premier League, no one gained promotion. What we have is relegation. Then Jordan Ayew with Leicester got relegated after 30 games he has played for them. He scored 5 goals. He played his part, but he couldn't help his team maintain their place. Then Abdul Isaaku, after just 11 games, he got injured. And after those 11 games, he had 2 assists for them and has been out for about 260 days. That is missing 29 games for Leicester. So in all competitions, he wasn't involved a lot. Then Kamaldeen Sulemana plays for Southampton. They also got relegated. 26 games he played for them, scored a goal and provided an assist.
So the promotion that you said was complicated. Now let's go through it.
So that's
Sales.
So Salis played for Sunderland.
Yes.
Last week I spoke about him, right? He played 10 games for them, started 3 of them, playing about 279 minutes. So, but the thing is that the season-long loan expired, and the club confirmed in a statement that he was being transferred back to his mother club, that is Lens in French Ligue 1.
Yes.
And
but he helped them gain promotion.
Yes, he played a few minutes.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Then in La Liga, it's actually this guy that inspired this segment today. That is Kwesi Zibo.
Yeah.
Why
did you write S then?
That is how they spell it.
Okay.
And the pronunciation is Zibo. So he played. He plays for.
You know that deal.
I don't know any deal. Maybe you have to explain to the listeners, viewers, so that they also get it. He plays for Real Oviedo, and that is after about 40 games available, he has played 38 of them. He's a midfielder.
Solid boy.
He was key for them in the playoff games against Mirandes. He was available for them in the final one. That was this past Saturday. He played 108 minutes of the extra time that they played and won. And throughout the season, he's been instrumental for them. And if you're looking at in terms of interceptions in their team, that is the Real Oviedo team, he's the second most winning interceptions in that team. Then Joseph Edu, another complicated one.
You know, because see
Is he
Zibo.
a player Otto should be considering?
Zibo.
Or we have too much of his kind in our team?
No, we don't have.
We have
We
a
are
lot
not-
of midfielders, and even this guy came brilliant, but he had to go and play at right back. But it depends on the profile of player the coach wants, and he's like a DM that can bring.
Yeah, he's a DM. He's a typical DM. This Kwesi Zibo, his older brother is Simon Zibo from Liberty. You would know him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's his older brother, direct.
Yeah.
So the giant, big midfielder, played for the local Blasters, very good midfielder.
They've got about the same physique, though.
They have the same physique, very similar
Yes,
physique.
he's very
So-
physical. If you see how
he's just like his brother. So very well built.
and on his profile on Wikipedia, they said he was born in. I don't know whether.
No, he's their family is Wala.
Yeah.
I see.
They are Wala. They are from Upper West region.
Yeah.
Yes, even the name should tell you Zibo. You know, so he and his family. They
But
are,
the Kwesi,
yeah, but Kwesi is. My catch was he's not understand chi. The thing is that his name is Zibo. His older brother is Simon Zibo. They are from Wa. Finish. Midfielder Real Oviedo. His teammate is Santi Cazorla. Cazorla was the one who recommended that they sign him.
Yeah.
Last season.
But they actually played in the same team prior when Kajula went back to his...
Very nice.
And in 40 matches, he played 38.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I should interview this guy.
Wait.
I should interview this boy.
Karim.
Now he will be playing La Liga
How
next
come he has not featured in your team? Or...
Shocking!
the truth is that I've not really. It's one of those things I've not.
Can't
seen.
see, DK. He can't see.
Your scouting eyes did
Couldn't
not catch
see
Zibo.
Zibo.
But it's not assured that if I had seen him, he would have
Benaya,
featured
see,
in
the
the-
thing is-
can you get us highlight reel of the boy? I want
The
to
thing
see
is,
something.
you see, Otto relies on Karim.
Thank you.
So if Karim doesn't put the
Team
player
manager's favorite show is.
Ashok.
Thank you.
So if Karim doesn't display the guy here, Black Stars call up.
Because and it's not because of the division, because he was featuring Kodistoffer.
Godisdorfer and Ragnachi.
Thank you. Who
Ragnachi.
In a championship, Thomas Brennan Asante has been playing. So it
Thank
doesn't
you.
matter.
Thank you. And he has been featuring him too. But he
How
has
many
never
times?
featured Kwesi Zibo.
Do you know what it means for a Spaniard to recommend another midfielder?
Thank you very much.
Santi Cazorla. The kind of football school they go to. And he gets
One of, if not
solid
the
boy,
most
bring him.
ambidextrous footballer I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Can take corner with right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, left leg, left.
So
Karim, look into the camera and
Wait.
apologize.
apologize for what?
For not spotting this talent.
He's a
If we were a
talent.
football club, you failed.
Which fail? The players have featured. If I
But
form a
he's
club
better than
today-
them.
Huh?
His
Karim,
numbers,
let's go on. Karim.
he's better than them.
Somebody who played 38 out of 40 matches.
Ashok.
How many games did Thomas Partey? Thomas
52
Partey
in
is
all competition.
So which league does
This
Thomas
guy went to
Partey-
find a goalkeeper who plays in Ireland.
Not in
There are
Ireland.
12 teams in the league. 12 teams in the league. He went to find a goalkeeper who plays in Ireland.
And you can't find
You can't find somebody who's
38
playing
matches.
second division in Spain. 38 matches.
Boga, why?
I'm disappointed, man.
And it's not like his name is complicated to find. If you see Kwesi,
And he's from Upper West like you.
oh!
He's your brother.
Hey brother, where are you? Let's talk.
Okay, Karim, let's
If
go.
we talk, we'll rectify it. Oh.
Quick.
Let's go on. Joseph Edu.
Joseph Edu, he went on loan to Valladolid. That is from Celta Vigo. Valladolid got relegated, but Celta Vigo are in the team, and his contract ends next summer. So it means that he's going back to Celta Vigo, but it's not assured that he'll be maintained or he's going. So one of those complicated ones. Then let's go to France. Another talented player, obstructed by injuries. That is Nathaniel Adjei. He played against Niger. That is last year. His debut for the Black Stars. Then Laurent, he played 9 games for them, but he's been out for a lot of time. That is 234 days out with injuries. That is about 28 games he missed for them and played just 9 and they gained promotion. They were in the French Liga when he joined them from Hammarby, that is in Sweden. Then they got relegated. They signed him permanently. Then his first full season with them, he couldn't play a lot and because of injury. Then Augustin Boachi, another player who has suffered a lot of injuries this season, he has also been out for, that is Saint Etienne, about 8 and 9 days, and it is not still certain when he will be back. And he scored 3 goals for them there in about 17 games before he got injured, and they couldn't maintain their place in the French League. Then, Pento's favorite player, Konisdorfer, he played a key role for, that is Hamburg, and they secured promotion to the Bundesliga, and he has scored 14 goals for them and provided 2 assists. Then Ragnar Achi, another of those ones I'm talking about, he has done well for his team, that is Kaiserslautern, but they couldn't gain promotion. But just after the season ended, he signed for FC Cologne. Cologne, that is, they won the Bundesliga too, and gained promotion to.
So he's coming up with them.
So he just stepped up with them. So it's like he didn't play a role in the promotion, but he's going up to the top tier. Then another player that has suffered relegation is Maurice Vroni-Kwarteng. He plays for Bochum. In the second half of the season, he went on loan to Fortuna Düsseldorf, that is in the Bundesliga too. So and in 8 games he has played for them, he's provided 4 assists. It's like he's more used to the Bundesliga too.
He's like Chrissy Abiye.
Yes.
Abiye will qualify
but
you
actually, this guy, Aduma. Aduma.
Championship player.
Aduma will qualify you. Like 3 years in a row, he will qualify you and tell you, like, okay, bye-bye, I'm going back.
I'm going back.
I have another mission.
Qualifying.
And I have another mission.
He has a channel on his social media. All he does is post football skills now.
Yeah. I think TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah, they call him Uncle.
So tomorrow, Fentu, that is Wednesday. Something big is coming up. Interview
Wait, tomorrow or Wednesday? He said tomorrow.
That's actually Wednesday.
Okay.
So an interview with Abdul Rashid Fuseini.
Solid.
Watch join news. 6:30. Yeah, 6:30 a.m. Then 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday. He has played for Man United before, under 16. And he said he played ahead of Kobe Mainoo when they were with the under 16 team. And when he was, when he went, he's now with Tabor, that is in Slovenia.
You see where he has found the player.
Tabor.
Thank
you. In Slovenia, but in Spain,
he can't
see
I felt to like this. I don't know where you are pushing it. I beg. Stop. But another interesting thing is that he also had trials at Sheffield United, and because of how successful his trial there was, they invited the whole of the Shooting Stars team for trials.
That's another Shooting Stars product.
Yes.
Okay. From one Shooting Stars product to another. Big news today. Benaya, show it to me. Big breaking news today. Christopher Bonsuba, Karim interviewed him only last week. And he was speaking about his excitement about playing Champions League football next season. Only for us to discover today, news just in, that Christopher Bonsuba and anyone who watched the Nigeria and TNT game, he was the player that impressed everybody the most.
Baller.
That quick, left-footed guy, sharp.
Just like Sichu.
Thank you very much.
Quick.
Benaya, I hope you have the Sichu videos because, Charlie, bottom line, they say he's going to Acacia in Saudi Pro League. 15 million euros is how much Genk are getting for him. And he's going to sign a contract until 2029. And that's it. And he's only 20 years of age. He's gone.
4-year contract for a 20-year-old playing in Genk. I can understand why he's moving. But the big question then would be, what were the offers on the table for him? Yep. Were the offers that was going to stay at Genk, or the offers that were coming in were teams in and around the same level? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't necessarily going to make a big step up in terms of a club that is bigger and a club that sells him better ambitions and real prospects of winning big things. So if that wasn't on the table, then he has to look at what he can earn in Saudi. And he's going to play the same thing with Aubameyang. They were very good last season. And it's also about the money, isn't it? because maybe now, I don't know how much he earns, but maybe he earns less than $1 million a year.
Way less.
Oh, way less.
Yeah.
Way less.
Yeah, but now going to
He
Saudi.
probably earns around 15,000 a week.
Yeah, so now that he goes to Saudi, he could be earning 3-4 million. You will never know, $1 million or more.
Yeah.
You know, so that could be the drive, that could be the motivation. Sometimes I understand these players because when you come from Africa and you're not starting off in one of the biggest academies in terms of, you know, clubs, sometimes finding your way to the very elite clubs can be difficult, and it's not a matter of talent. It's not a matter of talent. It's just a matter of where scouts are desperately looking and what profile of players they're looking for in terms of a sale. So they'll tell you if you're a Brazilian, there's a market value for you. If you are an Argentine, if you are, you know, if you are an European and all of that, and it plays a big part in football. So I'm thinking he's looking at the offers on the table and he's thinking, okay, I'm 20. By the time my contract is done, I'm 24. I can still go back to Europe. And the game in Saudi Arabia is still developing well, which means that he can be at his professional best there. And then when he gets to the end of his contract and he's still good enough, he can still come back to Europe. And by that time, some teams in Europe would be looking to bring him because they would have seen him play a lot of games where he is. So I can understand why. I know a lot of guys to say, why Saudi at this age? But why not Saudi at this age if the offers on the table are not presenting him anything that is catchy?
Yeah. DK, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, I back the move. The Belgian league is not better than the Saudi league. The only benefit he has playing in Belgium is Champions League.
And it's not going to win it.
And that, after the 8 games, Ogufie, Genk are not qualifying to round of 16. So why wait for 8 games? And see, what's a guarantee that those 8 games will put him on a global stage where top clubs will come for him? There's no guarantee that he will move to a much bigger club next season.
Evidence is that after what Brest did, which of their players has gone to Real Madrid?
That guy, Ludovic, your friend is in Ajok, Satu, but he's still in Brest. You understand?
Yeah.
Top guy, he was nodding on and giving free ones. He's still at Brest. The bottom line is, remember this our boy, the one who was playing for the team that beat Madrid some Champions League.
FC Sheriff.
Sheriff, yeah.
Sheriff Tiraspol. Edmonado.
Where is he?
Yeah.
He played Champions League. Yeah. He beat Madrid. He balled out that game. Where is he?
I think
all he got was a visit from Milo.
Yeah.
He got a visit from Milo and pictures, and this is the guy who beat Real Madrid. He went to Serbia, wasn't playing, went to Red Stars. He ran away. Is he Moldova? Eh?
No, Beograd. OFK Beograd.
What country?
Serbia.
A much weaker team than a Red Star Belt. There's no guarantee. Football is not predictable. So
there's no
when a better league comes, the Saudi league is better than the Belgian league. Look at the players who are in the Saudi league. Look at the facilities they have in the Saudi league. Look at the exposure that the Saudi league is getting. It's a good deal, 4-year deal. Go and cash out, ball out to the best players in the world. Ronaldo is there. George Duran is there. Mahrez is there. Cancelo is there. Look at what they are doing.
Sadio Mane is there.
Sadio Mane is there.
Mendy is there.
Sadio Mane is there. You say the
Champions League winners are there.
Kante, Benzema, them are there. You are. He should go. When his father and his mother were putting their things there for him to go.
You've spoken to people in his camp. What have they told you about this move?
So that it was actually what Sicho said. The plan is that he plays there for like 1 or 2 seasons. He's just 20. If he plays 2 seasons there, that's like 22. And it's not assured that when he goes there, nothing will happen. He can get the money, get a lot of exposure as in playing with Ronaldo and things. In one game against Ronaldo, if you do something crazy, it can still give you the marketing that a Champions League game can give you.
Fact.
So the plan is that 1 or 2 seasons there, and he can, if everything goes as planned, he can still return to Europe and play in the Champions League. And what immediately came to mind when I heard that was that, hey, just a few weeks ago, he told me that he wanted to help his team, Genk, qualify for the Champions League next season, and now he's going to Saudi. But the assurance is that he's leaving Genk now, but it's not over. So
But
he's
see, the last Ghanaian player who was our game, Pinson. Pinson scored how many goals, how many assists?
Again.
Ended about MLS.
Solid team. Where did he go? MLS, is he happy?
Yes.
Yes. Is his family
he has
happy?
won a title.
Yes, he has won a title.
Yes.
What can go? The Saudi League is better than the Belgian League.
Where should Kudus Mohammed go? God, that is another question. The reports are that Arsenal are very interested. So are Chelsea. So are Spurs. So are Saudi clubs. But depending on where he's going, the fee is different, apparently. You've had, thankfully, these are all projects that everybody here is very familiar with. You look at the profile of Kudus. One thing is certain is that Kudus will leave West Ham. He has changed managers. He has changed agents as well. So he's looking for a big money move. Where does it make sense for him?
It's a difficult one. Because in the position that he thrives in, if he goes to Arsenal, I don't think he starts unless Mikel creates another slot for him, right? I don't think Kudus is a great number 10. I don't think he'll be a better number 10 than Odegaard. I think Kudus' best position will be in the wide forward position. And it's a lot better when he plays in the position where Saka plays. He's not going to take away Saka, will he? And I also don't think that Kudus loves playing on the left-hand side of the wide area. He would rather play on the right and then cut in. If he's going to play on that side, then he's got Martinelli, Trossard to contend with. Down the middle, I think Arsenal will be bringing in a striker. And even if there's no striker, I think Arteta still loves Kai Havertz. So even though Arsenal, amongst the three teams that we are hearing, looks like the team that has gone very close to competing and Kudus could add more firepower to them, it doesn't look like there's a straight, position for him to just hold on to himself. But Kudus at the time in the career where whichever move he's going to make, he has to be guaranteed that he's a big part of the players that are going to play a lot of games. And I don't want the Arsenal thing to be like Arsenal are looking for a player who could deputize Saka.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that Arsenal really struggled with was when Saka was away. Iwanieri was good, but I don't think Arteta trusts him that much. So if Kudus comes in and Kudus is seen like Saka and Bobia, that kind of thing is not what I think for the lad. Spurs, again, you wonder if Kudus at the time in his career, as Ghanaians, we think should be going to a club that quickly can win things. You wonder if Spurs are that team. But I would have said Spurs first because he's going to play with a manager who has shown that when he's worked with players, especially attacking players, some way, somehow, he knows how to get them to another level. So when Ivan Toney was leaving Brentford, the question was, how did he replace the goals? Who comes in to replace him in terms of personnel? Nobody came in. He still used Mbeumo and then Wesa, and they were brilliant because he has a way. We saw Damsgaard, who had his career seemed to have dipped a little bit, but under him, under Thomas, he's been able to coach him well to turn him into a very good playmaker. So I'm thinking, in terms of a coach, in terms of a club where I think you play a lot of games, it could be Spurs. But then in comes Chelsea, right?
Okay.
I think
that's an interesting case.
Interesting case. I think that in the wide positions for Chelsea, I think Kudus can make a very big claim. I personally think Kudus is a better player than Madueke. I don't think Neto is consistent enough. He has brilliant flashes. His attributes and ability could be on power or slightly better than Kudus, I think. But I think Kudus has got what it takes to go into that Chelsea team and hold on a position, right? To go, because I don't even think Maresca knows his best two wide players. So at times, Madueke is playing on the left, Neto is playing on the right. He's not too sure.
All over the place.
Kopama can go there. But I think Kudus goes in there into Chelsea and maybe then holds a starting position. And Chelsea is a good club, a club that maybe wants to win. I've not seen enough of their business that looks like they want to win. A club that maybe could want to win, and that would be a massive step up for Kudus. So that is why he's changed his agency and he's changed his management. They've got a lot of things to go through. I've just stated the obvious ones, but behind these things that I've said, they would have a lot of other things to consider.
I mean, he mentioned the forward areas. I don't understand. Has Kudus lost the capacity or the ability to play in that central area where we saw him play in his first season at Ajax and thrived until that injury against Liverpool.
Second season after Ten Hag left.
Yeah.
So second season.
Was that the second season you got the injury? No, it was his first season he played in that position.
No, his first season
went
he played in the middle.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about central midfield. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Down the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask that, has he lost that?
Look, Fen, the Dutch league is very, very different from the Premier League.
True.
It's very different. And what Kudus was doing, it would, unless Man City, unless a team that dominates possession, the way Ajax were dominating possession and dominating games in the Dutch league, I don't think he will find a club that will be willing to let him play in that position because he's a risk taker and he loses the ball a lot. And if you are playing in a high-quality league like the Premier League, if you are losing the ball in the central areas,
closer to the defense,
you are going to be in trouble. So you want players like that a bit further up, closer to goal, where a lot of those risk-taking can result in goals. Even when you lose possession, there's still a lot of ground to cover for the opposition. So for me, I'm leaning towards a Spurs move. The Chelsea move on paper makes sense, but Chelsea's contract situation, I don't think Kudus will be willing to tie down the next 7-8 years of his life to Chelsea. He's a very ambitious guy. Yeah. You know that
but
he's
I think
aiming
that there's
for
enough evidence that those contracts don't mean much in terms of a player's willingness to leave.
No,
they signed one for 7 years, sent him off on loan after 3 months.
Exactly, but you see, that's the case when Chelsea don't need him. That's the thing. You see, players' contract transfers are very funny. Mm-hmm. If he goes into Chelsea, we know very well he'll succeed. If he's succeeding, Chelsea are most likely not going to let him go. And once you are tied down to such a long-term contract, it's very difficult to leave.
No big club can.
It is easier to leave when you are redundant and the club wants you to go. And those are the examples you are giving. Mm-hmm. When Chelsea don't need you and they want you to go. But Kudus is not going to tie down 7-8 years of his life. And after 2-3 seasons, when he's banging in Real Madrid or Barcelona come calling, Chelsea will be quoting 150 million and go. And we know that these teams are not going to buy. So, especially if you look at the transfer business that two big Spanish teams are doing recently, waiting for teams or players to run down their contracts. You would want that 3-4 year deal, maximum 5. Mm-hmm. Go in there, do your business. If you are pushing a transfer, maybe there's left with a year or 2 on your contract where you can get a good transfer fee and then leave. That's where the Chelsea's situation.
Why does Kudus' Spurs make sense to you?
It makes sense because the profile of players they have, there's no clear, like the Arsenal situation, there's no clear-cut front 3 or clear-cut front 4 and you are saying he's going in and he has to go and fight with this particular player. Spurs have Son is on the decline. Maddison is almost never fit. They brought in quite a number of attacking. Werner has left the club.
Johnson is decent.
Johnson is decent, but Kudus can't take on Johnson. And I'm looking at the Thomas Frank thing and what he did with Mbeumo. Left-footed forward player. He managed to play him. In fact, this season when he started, he was playing the front 2. When Shad came in, he shifted him into a wide, but he was still
a wing back at some
even
point.
wing back, but he was still scoring goals, still giving assists. And that's what I said. He has a very good body of work when it comes to working with players that we know can hit that potential, but have not yet quite hit there. And Kudus fits. He's a very Thomas Frank-like player. So that's why I want him to go to Tottenham Hotspur.
What about Semenyo?
Good. So, I was going to say... so
because Semenyo has also been linked to United and Spurs.
Semenyo is another player that... Okay, so if he goes to Man United, a big club is going to get a lot of that. In these times of Man United and the uncertainties around the club...
It's not the best.
I don't think it is the best. Yeah. However... for the very reasons why we both have said or spoken about Thomas Frank and what he does to players. Semenyo is, for me, in my opinion, like Brian Mbeumo in terms of profiling a little bit. He's physical, he's strong, he's got a great work ethic, he's a powerful lad. He can strike the ball with both left foot and right foot, right? So if I look at what that manager did with Brian Mbeumo and Semenyo gets to Spurs and what he could do with him. But if Semenyo is going to go to Spurs, and maybe then Kudus is going to go to Spurs. Would Kudus' purchase, right, affect Semenyo's opportunity in Spurs or vice versa? That is what I was looking at. But I'm thinking that the coach is intelligent enough to find different places for them. Because I think Semenyo has proven that he can play both on the left and on the right. And if you trust him enough, even down the middle at times. So I would also lean towards Spurs for Antoine Semenyo and not Manchester United, even though it's a bigger club. The chances are that he does well and he's a global superstar. But with all the happenings around the club, I'm not too sure. Somebody sent me a message. I don't have permission. I don't know if I have permission to mention this. Then maybe you can tell me. But it's a big lad in the industry. He says that tell Kudus to go to Saudi. We don't want him at Arsenal. Otherwise, Arteta, he used the word useless coach. Arteta will spoil him. You know, they say we'll turn him into a robot, right? Like it's done with Martinelli and some others. But yeah,
it's not done with Martinelli was son. It's not Arteta's fault.
When Martinelli burst onto the scene, he got flair about him.
Who brought him onto the scene? It's not Arteta.
No. Arteta gave him more games. But when you get
Wassan is not this thing. Why is that Saka is doing where he can play? Why is that Odegaard has play?
He's quite mechanical for
He's not mechanical.
Well. Semenyo to Man U, who says no?
You see, what Man U is trying to do, the profile of players they are buying, I don't think Semenyo will be a good fit. They are going for number. If you look at the attacking players United are being rumored to strongly linked to
free role first 10.
Free role first 10 they can play like either double 10 or number 9. Semenyo, and I'm using his Black Stars performances. Right. Semenyo with the Black Stars, when he's playing the double 10, doesn't really do well. When he's out wide and he's asked to come in, that's when he does well. As a centre forward, we know he's never really wanted that. He's not a centre forward type of player. So for me, and again, with the Tottenham Hotspur situation, it makes sense. I would have leaned towards that, but I'm not sure if Thomas Frank is going to depart from his 3-back system. If he's going to stick with his 3-back system and he's going that 3-5-2, you see that you're going to play as a wing-back or you're going to play as a striker. Yeah. And when I look at the players there, I see Kudus, Solanke working better than Kudus, Solanke and then Semenyo. Semenyo is not a centre forward, as I said. If he's playing out wide, is going to be as a wing back.
Which one will be more devastating for defenders, centre backs? When you have Semenyo and Solanke feeding off each other, or Kudus and Solanke? I get a Kudus and Solanke one.
It's Kudus. Kudus is scary. It's scary because look, they are both strong. They are both very athletic. They both work very hard. They are both very good finishers on the left side, on the right side, and it's the movement. It is Mbuemo and no, the one who left, Tony all over again.
Yeah, Ivan, yeah.
Just that Solanke has a bit more movement to him. And I think it suits, if Spurs are going to go for a forward player, I think, between the two Ghanaians, I think they'll go for
You know what I actually think? To answer that question, with Kudus, I think the thing is that with Kudus, you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
Very skillful player. When he has the ball, you know what he's capable of. I just feel like Semenyo is a bit more of a menace, really. Like, you have no idea what he's up to. And he's really just a very difficult proposition for defenders. He's the kind of player nobody wants to defend against. Kudus, yeah, you know that he's skillful. You know he can beat you 1v1. Semenyo just seems like one of those people that's just like annoying
it's a bulldozer,
to play against, basically. So,
unpopular opinion, I would want Semenyo to stay at Bournemouth for one more season.
Okay, that's another option.
It's Iraola. He's the one who's brought this Semenyo. Yeah.
But I'm also scared because Bournemouth all of a sudden losing some of their best players. You've seen Dean Howson left. Zabani is on his way. We know Paris Saint-Germain are keen on him. You wonder if, again, I realize a great coach, but can he quickly build another team that can perform like they did? Because sometimes teams can be, these small teams, we know them. They can have this great moment, big players can leave and all of a sudden some way.
And that might
so if the opportunity comes, if right now that you bought, you don't go away, Bournemouth comes out.
You slack.
All right, guys, listen. I'm going to read your messages after this. A lot of you have been sending in lots of messages on the transfers. And after this break, we will take you to Europe and take you to your favorite clubs, every single one of them, and tell you which players they've brought in so far and which players they have been linked to. That's all coming up here on the show in the next 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes of the show. So do stay with us. You're watching Sports Zone on Joy Prime. All right, welcome back. This is Sports Zone. The show is proudly brought to you by Piva Beverages, producers of Piva Natural Mineral Water, and then Guinness, of course. You have produced the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout and Guinness Smooth. Get a bottle, of course, and enjoy. Like I said, lots of your messages have come in. I'm going to take you through some transfers now with the various clubs and which players they have been linked to and who is going where. But let me take the first batch of messages. Some of you have sent through here. Good evening. My name is Strongman Fuzi from Wadondoli, Kotia family. I really like your sports every Monday evening. Please keep it up, and may Allah bless your good work. Thank you very much. This one says, I am an Arsenal fan, and I greet all Arsenal fans too. We pray next season the Premier League trophy will be with us. Good evening to you all, sir. They always enjoy your show. Oluboy from your neighbor country, Niger. Okay, neighboring country, Nigeria. He's tuning in from Nigeria. His name is Olaboy. Olaboy, thank you for tuning in. This one says, good evening, Fentio. Man United should hurry up with the Mboimo deal and move on to others. Also, sorry for disturbing you, but can I please have the contact of your suit designer? I'm Eric. Eric, don't worry. I'll respond to you. This one is from Vincent in Silbele, who says, Mohamed Kudus should join Chelsea. Chelsea is the place he's guaranteed a trophy and will be a good addition to the team. Good evening to you guys. This one says, Kudus should join Arsenal. And he also says, I think Christopher Barr should stay in Europe for some time. Saudi Arabia now will not be good for him in terms of football, but money-wise, it will be. He needs to learn from Gabri Veiga, formerly of Celta Vigo, to Ali, but it didn't work for him, and he's now back at FC Porto. My regards to Danny K. This is from Pedroa Maldina Cruz. I'm really enjoying Sports Zone live from Indianapolis, Kumasi, Tennessee, Kesvin Junction. The main location is Kesvin Junction is the main location. He says, good evening to you all. I'm really enjoying Sports Zone live from Indianapolis, Kumasi, Tennessee, Kesvin Junction is the main location. Kesvin Junction. Very specific. This one said they should sell Nicholas Jackson and Nkunku and Gui. And Semenyo should go to Tottenham Hotspur. As for Kudus, should come to Chelsea so that we can sell Madueke. This is a message from, that's a Maldino Cruz's message. All right. Roland says, don't you think Partey would fit in a Marine system? And can I fully fit Partey with Fernandez, Cunha, and Buemo, Ahmad a right wing back, and Osimhen? We will cuckoo. My regards to you guys. Chelsea to be booted out of the Club World Cup. Jose Esperance Gichines. Interesting. This message says, good evening. This is Moses from Tumu. As for Jackson, the least said about him, the better. You cannot be frustrated that easily in a top club like Chelsea. Kudus will be a brilliant addition to either Chelsea or Arsenal. I think Semenyo deserves to play for a top club in England as well. Greetings to you guys. Moses, the one who chopped Danike's Guinea fowl. Thank you. This one says, the Brazilian teams are showing class at the Club World Cup. I love Karim's shirt. Mensah in Takrady. And Mensah also says, Kudus has the talent, but that alone cannot take him far. He also needs a high-profile agent or agency to push him into the big clubs. That he's already doing, right? Yeah. All right. This one says, good evening, boss. You people are so fantastic. Please update me on Manchester United transfers. Then that is a message from KD in Bibiani. KD, that is coming right up. This one is from Olaboy, okay, from Nigeria. It says, Arsenal fans, I would love my team to sign him. But Arteta is a stubborn coach. I don't know what will make him sign a single player up. I don't know why he hasn't signed a single player up till date. Next season, no trophies. He must go. Interesting message. I've got another message from someone from Nigeria. This is from Williams Jackson from Akwa Ibom State in Nigeria. And he said, good evening to you guys in the studio. Please give me the latest FC Barcelona transfers. Thank you very much. That is coming right up. Do stay with us. Ramsey in Tamale sends us a very long one. Ramsey says, good evening, guys. Fen, this may be unrelated to the discussion, but immediately I tuned in tonight to the show. I just remember the day you mentioned your name as Daniel Cranton to climax the show. I'm still laughing till today. Anyway, yeah, great show yet again. I feel Kudus should be led. The show. He said, I feel Kudus should be leaning towards Spurs because Kulusevski and Johnson, they are no match to his creativity and sharpness. Ramsey in Tamale, thanks for your message. All right, let's go through the transfers quickly. People want updates from their various clubs. Let's start with Arsenal, right? Alphabetical order. Is that Arsenal? Thank you very much. No signings yet.
Yeah.
So incomings, none yet. Arsenal have not finalized any permanent transfer this summer. By the way, what's happening with Thomas Partey? We saw a story last week that negotiations have fallen apart.
What I'm gathering is that Thomas Partey is holding on to still receive the amount of money that he was receiving. Arsenal think maybe they could keep him for a reduced fee. But that again also asks questions about how many games he would have been playing for next season, because Arsenal look like they are bringing in Zubimendi. But maybe the reason why Arsenal want to maybe reduce his fees is because they know that with Zubimendi coming in, and Jorginho leaving now for Flamengo, Thomas Partey could be now the backup to Zubimendi in the middle of the park. But Partey's camp are not holding. They still think that he's got immense ability, and if he's going to stay at the club, maybe then he has to stay as a starter and still command the same wages he was commanding.
Let's look at the players they've been linked to.
Yeah.
What is the reasoning behind? We know that the Arsenal need a striker.
Yeah.
So they've been linked to 3 strikers. Gyökeres from Sporting. Sesko from Leipzig. Isak from Newcastle. And then there's Rodrigo, also a forward player from Real Madrid. That was earlier. I don't know what has happened to that rumor. But realistically, where is the link strongest? Sesko maybe?
For the striker, yeah, I think Benjamin Sesko is the one that is strongest, and they could probably get that one over the line in the coming weeks or close to somewhere in the next month, I think. We understand Zubimendi is also close to finalizing it. Getting Isak will be difficult, in my opinion. Victor Gyökeres, again, if he scores goals, I don't think he's an Arteta kind of striker. Or it's a striker, not an Arteta kind of striker. He's a striker that fits the way Arsenal like to play, unless Arteta is going to change a couple of things around his team. So I think maybe Benjamin Sesko could be the one. I know that Enrique is not a big fan of his, but I think.
Okay, which of these strikers you think would work? But who do you think they'll end up with?
Gyökeres would work, but I think they'll end up with Sesko. Arteta is a big fan of him. I don't know. I need to give him a call. I don't think he's watched him too well. Because, no, to be frank, Sesko's link-up play is very poor. And for somebody of his size, you expect him to do better with the ball. On the ball, he's good. He's nice on the ball, as tall as he is. But he doesn't link up too well. He can't see a pass. He can't get... It's some way. And he doesn't score enough also, so...
Interesting. What is the reality situation with the Rodrigo rumor? That started very early on.
I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
I don't think it's
okay. All right, let's move on to a different club then. Maybe Chelsea. They're not London neighbours. Chelsea have already signed 6 players?
Estavio was signed long ago. So
Estavio's not coming.
He's just coming back.
But he's always been a player of the years. Kendrick Myers as well.
Delap from Ipswich Town. Dario Esugo, a defensive midfielder, is also coming. Mike Pendes from Genk. Mamadou Sa is also a centre-back that they signed from Strasbourg. William Estevao from Palmeiras. He was signed last year. He's just coming to join the team. Kendrick Myers as well, right? Yeah. He's also a player that Chelsea signed last season. He's also joining the team this season. Any thoughts on those transfers? Is there any one of them that immediately improves the current Chelsea squad?
It could.
Immediately improves.
Estavio has looked good in the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
He's looked interesting,
Delap?
lively. No,
Yeah,
Estavio.
I was going to say Delap because we know Chelsea struggle to find another player in place of Jackson. And maybe could bring the competition to Jackson, then maybe get something better out of him. And the two of them could go at it. Estavio is promising. It's an amazing talent. I love watching him and everything. Can he make a step up in the Premier League? Can he deal with the physicality and everything? We would see. Apart from that, Esugo as well looks interesting for me, really. I think he's a Caicedo kind of player, right? So without Caicedo, he could be the player who plays in that pack. But can he settle in time and get his groove going? We'll see.
Interesting.
Estavio
and they've been linked to a couple of other players as well. I don't know who else they could bring in, but do you think Chelsea still need a striker? Because I also see Kolomwani's name in there. Hugo Ekitike has also been linked to Chelsea.
I would have gone for Walter Madi. I would have gone for him.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you brought in Delap and you've got Jackson,
I'm saying I would have gone for him ahead of
Delap. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Tamade, he scored a hat-trick for Germany just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What a striker. Okay, so this is Chelsea's business. For the players that have been linked to them, I think we can realistically see Chelsea signing 2 more players. They just seem like a club that just signs players for fun.
Yeah, but there was an earlier bid rejected for Jamie Gittins.
Yeah,
Yes.
for Dortmund.
Yes.
So I think
Yes.
he's another one we should keep an eye on.
I think it comes in to replace what they've lost in Sancho, or what they've allowed to go back to
Yeah,
United in
absolutely.
Sancho.
Man City, they've already signed a lot of players. Aït-Nouri, Ryan Cherki, Tijani Reinders, Marcus Bettinelli, the goalkeeper from Chelsea. But those top 3, top signings.
Trouble.
I mean, I think with Rodri coming back, Gonzalez playing some games in this Club World Cup, Cherki arriving, I don't see the Morgan Gibson-White deal happen. I think that it will cool off. Whatever happens, the Premier League must beg Newcastle not to sell Livramento to City. Because they've already got Aït-Nouri down in there.
Yeah.
We've seen him and what he can do. If Livramento comes in, that is another weapon City have got. But already they look like Reinders, Aït-Nouri, Ryan Cherki to complement what they already have. Remember, City started signing in January. So they've got some bodies in the door anyway. So I think that these are some very good signings from Man City.
What about Liverpool? Okay, so Liverpool have signed Florian Wirtz for a British record fee. Jeremy Frimpong comes to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth as well is a really good signing.
Yeah.
Mamadashvili, a goalkeeper from Valencia, another good signing. But they've also been linked to, especially in search of a striker, because by all indication, the Uruguayan is leaving.
Yeah, it could go to Saudi or perhaps maybe Napoli now. We hear Napoli are asking lots of questions about him. Florian Wirtz, interesting signing, very good talent. We know how good he is. He's very highly valued in Germany. Jeremy Frimpong is a fantastic right wing back. It will be interesting to see what Arne Slot does with him as a fullback or as a wing back or even as a winger as well in him. So he's quite versatile down that line. Milos Kerkez, I love him. It's a wonderful left back. We saw him. Then their second goalkeeper, Liverpool, has left the club, so it was important that. And this signing was the signing was already done before the season ended, so he will come into the debut Alisson. But Liverpool need to buy another centre back because Kwanzaa, we understand, is going to Leverkusen. The deal is that it's going to Leverkusen. Hence Gay. But the complication here is Gay also, Scamp is saying, if it's not going to be a starter, he would rather stay at Crystal Palace.
Right.
He's their captain. He's just won the FA Cup. There's no rush. So Liverpool have to convince him. Arne Slot, we hear, has got some powerful PowerPoint presentations. So he has to convince him to join him. For me, the big one for Liverpool would be who comes in as a striker. Ekitike, promising and good. Yeah, Slot can do a work on him. With the players around him, he can be good. But if Liverpool do crack that Alexander Isak signing, that's another level. That takes the team to another level. And I think that is a deal that Liverpool maybe desperately will be working on sealing if they're able to get Nunes out and maybe find a club for Elliott who looks like he wants to leave after the Euro Under-21 championship. Who knows? Isak to Liverpool, that would be massive.
All right. For Manchester United, we'll come back here and go to our in-house Manchester United correspondent, Mr. Daniel Cranton. Danny K, what's happening with Manchester United's transfers?
Okay, so just want to give you a sense of why Man United have signed and are following certain players. So this is a Premier League table from last season, and you have to go before you see Man United. Now, a major issue was goal scoring. So United scored just 44 goals in 38 appearances. That's about 1.1 goals per game, which is extremely poor. Now, I want to look at the attacking numbers of... No, first, let's look at the creativity of the team. Chances created, Bruno Fernandes created the most chances in the Premier League, yet it affected Man United's goal scoring wasn't the best. United don't have finishers. The chance creation, in fact, Bruno was the only Man United player in the top 20 of this list. You have teams with multiple. So Chelsea have 2 players in the top 5. Arsenal have Odegaard. Saka was on the next page, top 20. Saka is there about. Teams had multiple, but Man United, only Bruno Fernandes. So if Bruno Fernandes is not creating a chance or if he's not around, then United are struggling for creativity, they are struggling for goals. In terms of goals, I've already showed you, they had just 44. So United need to fill that in the forward area, so the front 3. Bruno can't be doing all the work. Clearly, there are no finishers. Let's look at Akuya-san. Rasmus Højlund, and these are his numbers from last season. It's I don't even think the word is terrible. This is worse than terrible. So if you're looking at his non-penalty goals, he was in the 36th percentile. That is bad.
That's very low.
In fact, the top box is what matters as a forward. So you should have greens in the top box. His total shots, 1.6 per game in the 8th percentile. There are defenders in the league that were taking more shots per game than Rasmus Højlund last season. That is terrible. His expected assists, 76th percentile, but obviously didn't translate to happening. And this is a serious problem. When it comes to his defensive numbers too, very terrible. And I'll show you something. In as much as his defensive numbers are, you might say defense is not really part of a striker's metrics. Man United won a lot of possession in the final third. So defending high was something that Amorito wanted to do last season. Unfortunately, it was only certain players who could do that for him. So if you look at possession won in the final third, United were ranked very high up in possession won in the final third. Just unfortunately for them, it didn't always translate into them dominating games and then winning matches, obviously creating chances from that. So that was another serious look at the defensive numbers: interceptions per match, successful tackles per match, possession won in the final third. Only Bournemouth won more possession in the final third than Man United. So Man United wanted to press, but if you juxtapose that against the one supposed to lead the line, he had very, very poor defensive numbers in Rasmus Højlund. You look at Sexy again, the other option, again, this area is not looking too good. It's all red, it's all patchy. Yes, his defensive numbers are quite good, pass completion, but the first box and the last box are where you expect the Man United attackers to be doing well in. So now we bring in the players they are chasing. And we first look at Matheus Cunha. Now, Cunha and Mbeumo don't just score. They score and they can create. So the first problem I mentioned with Bruno Fernandes, lopsided chance creation, Bruno Fernandes doing all the chance creation for Man United, that problem could be solved when you introduce a player like Bryan Mbeumo. You look at his combined goals and assists, he was number 3 on the list. That is very good for a player like that. Now we look at the chance creation.
Way better than the United forward.
Way better than the United forward. So we'll go to chance creation again. And when you see Bruno Fernandes, you look at the top 5 and who is there. Mbeumo is in number 5. You scroll, you go to the next page. And then you see the man from Wo. So the top 20, both Cunha and Mbeumo are in there. And they can create. So these are just chances created. They are getting creating a lot of chances for their team. But they are not just doing that. They are also adding and backing it up when it comes to the goals also. So you look at the more attacking numbers. In fact, the shots per 90, you see Matheus Cunha
per 90.
On targets per 90, you see Matheus Cunha ranking number 3. And then you go to, let me go to the top one, which is the goals and assists. So obviously Salah had a record-breaking season, but you see Bryan Mbeumo in there, contributing number 3 on the list. Matheus Cunha is there, number 10 on the list. So they are getting the top box and the bottom box. These guys
that is 90th percentile.
90th percentile.
Compared to 8th percentile and 37th percentile.
Rasmus Højlund and Sexy, they are not doing good. So you understand the thinking behind Man. If you get these two players in, now the chances created is being shared between Bruno Fernandes and these other players, and it brings extra goals. Mbeumo scored, I think, Mbeumo got about 20 goals last season. Yeah. Let's look at goals. Yeah, Mbeumo was there about, I think, 20 goals last season. Yes, 20 goals last season. And then you see Matheus Cunha over here with 15. So that's how many? 35 more goals you are adding, and that solves the goal-scoring problem for Man. So you can understand why they are going for these sort of players. And these numbers are Premier League numbers. They've proven it in the league. So United will be hoping they can translate it next season.
Fantastic.
Brilliant stuff.
Dr. Cranton, thank you very much. Reverend Cranton,
Charlie.
Thank you, Susho. That's our show for this evening. Which teams are through to the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup? I hear Atletico are out.
Atletico are out. So Botafogo is through. PSG also through as well.
Wow.
Yeah, they are through today. So.
Okay, Chelsea play on Wednesday morning.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that
They
one.
must beat Esperance or else they are out.
Or Esperance must beat them, otherwise Esperance are out.
Okay, interesting. Anyway, so that's our show for this evening. It's proudly brought to you by Piva Beverages and Guinness. We appreciate all your messages and we appreciate you for tuning in. We are back again next Monday. Until then, my name is Fen Tuta. Do take care of yourself and bye-bye.